It's been a pretty long time since Damian Lillard officially requested a trade from the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm kind of just pissed off because it really does feel like they're just kind of waiting until the uproar dies down. But I feel like people have a reason to be upset, both inside of Portland, outside of Portland. I need to make this distinction. I do not think it is a problem that Damian Lillard wants to leave the Portland Trail Blazers. The direction of the team is clearly not suited for him to win right now. And, as a guy who just had one of the best seasons of his career at the age of 33, he has a right to want to go and compete. There's nothing wrong with that. I cannot state that enough. There's nothing wrong with Damian Lillard wanting to be on a championship contending team because the Portland Trailblazers are not that. However, him wanting the Portland Trailblazers to build, a competitor around him is very strange, in my opinion, because I really think that they did the best that they could. I mean, you have to get fair value in a trade, okay? I don't care. They shouldn't sacrifice their future if it wasn't going to give them a championship team. He didn't request the trade until they drafted Scoot, which is fine. That's totally fine if he wants to leave because they have their, new franchise guard that's literally just going to come in and replace him. I think the big thing here is that people act like the Blazers don't try. Like they're just giving up on Dame. Like they have to be an organization and they are telling him, yeah, we're going to try to build around you. And I think they tried. They didn't sign Jeremy Grant for no reason. I mean, that's an overpay and a half, but they did it. They want Dame to be happy. And I also don't get why they act like they can't make a trade, now. Because there's really no incentive for Portland to trade him to the Heat specifically for just Jovic and whatever, I think they can do that at any point. I think what they really should do is wait until Dame has decided that he's willing to be traded to more than just Miami. And if that never happens, then, he holds out on his contract and that's fine. I don't think that Portland is worried about that scandal. I don't think Portland gives a shit. And I don't think they should have to. And I really do want to make it absolutely clear that, Damian Lillard is not at fault for wanting to be on a championship contending team. He's 33 years old. The Portland Trailblazers are not at a point where they're going to build around him. But to act like the Blazers just didn't make a trade because they just didn't want to is asinine. If they thought that they could get fair value for that number 3 pick, don't you think they would have gotten it? I don't know what these people wanted the Blazers to do. They're not exactly a big market team that can go sign a crazy free agent that has a ton of interest in coming, especially with the situation that was already looming. It's not like it came out of nowhere. The clouds formed and we knew that if, the Blazers drafted Scoot, Dame's probably going to want out. And that's fine. But you can't say as Dame, I want to go to Miami. I'm not playing for anyone else. I don't care. I'm only going to play for the Miami Heat. Listen, there are plenty of teams. The Brooklyn Nets and the Minnesota Timberwolves, actually, both would be great teams that are a superstar player away, right? Dame could be that superstar player. But I don't think Dame wants to be the superstar player, I think he wants to be the 1A, 1B. He wants to play with a guy as good as him, which is fine. But if you want to talk about a fair trade for Damian Lillard, the Miami Heat should have to give up more than Tyler Herro and a bag of chips, bro. If you're Damian Lillard, you can't say, I'm going to the Miami Heat and I don't care what they give you back. I am only going there. Because that, A, kills his trade value and is a complete disservice to the Portland Trailblazers, who, again, small, medium market team. Okay, they're not going to just sign a big free agent. And if they could do it, don't you think they would have done it already? To try and pair Dame with somebody like that? I just don't get it. I don't understand what he thinks the Blazers could do here. And especially with the hypocrisy of his statement of running from the grind to Paul George. Paul George didn't say, I am only going to be fucking traded to this one team. He requested out of Indiana because they weren't building a team around it. But he didn't say, I'm only going to the Thunder. He let them trade him to the Thunder. And the Thunder got back Victor Oladipo, and that guy was amazing for them when he, played there. So it's just silly, in my opinion, to say that Damian Lillard is just objectively right. I've been kind of rambling. The point is that Dame requesting a trade specifically to one team is A, handicapping the shit out of Portland because it minimizes all the returns that they can get for him. Okay, it sets them back probably a year, in terms of the return that they're going to get, which is just not fair to Portland. They deserve to get a fair package for Damian Lillard, especially if he is forcing his way out, which is fine if he wants to go somewhere, but you cannot pick the destination you want to go to. Okay, Dame signed a contract with them not too long ago. He committed to that contract. Okay, he could have signed somewhere else. You want to know why he didn't? Because no other team can offer him that amount of money. And in my opinion, that is silly. I think that if you're just going to sign the Supermax and stay with your team and be loyal and then request a trade in a year and then still be making that money, like Bradley Beal did it, and, Damian Lillard has done it. And there's plenty of guys who at the end of the day have that option to just say, all right, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not going to play for you. Trade me. And I just think that's silly. And I also think that comparing it to the James Harden situation is just so missing the point on every fundamental level here. James Harden was promised that he would be traded if he accepted his player option. Okay, they told him that he would be traded somewhere. Okay, they promised him that if he, picks up this option, okay, because he's about to hit free agency. He is about to go into free agency, and the team tells him, no. If you accept this 1-year deal, we'll trade you somewhere. So instead of just hitting free agency, he says, all right, Philly, I'll do you a solid. I'll pick up my option, and then you're going to trade me. And then they said, okay, you've signed it. You're going to pick up your option. All right, psych, we're not actually going to trade you at all. You're actually going to be stuck here for the next year. That's different. That is a completely different situation. And I don't find the comparison to that situation and saying, okay, Dame was promised that they were going to build around him. I don't know what you want Portland to do. I really don't. What other superstar is on the trade block right now? Who are they trading the number 2 pick for? I didn't see a deal. I didn't see any option. Brad Beal was already off the market. Was that going to work anyway? Probably not. I don't know. Did you want them to trade for Porzingis? Do you want them to trade for Harden? You're going to give up the number 2 pick for a guy on a 1-year deal? I just feel like at the end of the day, Damian Lillard deserves to be on a contending team, and that's totally fine. But he doesn't get to be a little whiny bitch just saying, oh, I'm only going to play for Miami. Go to somewhere else. Go literally anywhere else. Go to the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn would be an amazing place to see Dame go. Or the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have a big. I really like the Timberwolves trade too because, at this moment in time, the Blazers are so guard heavy and the Timberwolves are so big heavy. I feel like if they made a trade with each other, and again, I know that Dame has already said, oh, I'm not going to play there. He's not going to play anywhere other than Miami. But if we're talking about what Portland could get back, they're going to get back somebody, some talented big to kind of balance their rotation so that they could go, something along the lines of, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Grant, and a big, right? That would be a pretty nice starting lineup. And maybe they bring Sharp off the bench and have a different wing there. It doesn't matter. If he goes to Miami, Miami's only going to give up, what, Hero and a bag of chips? Maybe not even Tyler Hero? We're hesitant to include Martin in the trade. Are you fucking kidding me? Damian Lillard is going to get traded for what? Jovic and a couple of picks? It's ridiculous. It's just not even comparable. It's not a fair deal. It is beyond not a fair deal. That is just asinine to even say, oh, well, we want Damian Lillard, but we don't even want to give up the 8th best guy on our team. And I get it. Martin had an amazing playoffs, especially in the Eastern Finals. And he was the reason that they made the finals. He was insane. Off the bench, starting lineup didn't matter. An efficient 20 points every game. The man was on fire. Okay? I get it. But you don't get to just say, oh, well, Dame wants to come here, so we're not going to give up anything for him. If the Heat gave a fair offer, Dame would already be there by now. But the Blazers know what Dame's value is. And I think the Blazers have a right to be upset that Dame is saying, no, I'm only going to go to Miami. They're a medium to small market team. Okay? What are they supposed to do? How else were they supposed to build around Dame? I just don't get it. I really don't. And I don't have any sympathy for him, especially, running from the grind. Oh, this is where I belong. This is what I want to do. And that's fine, dude. Don't sign the fucking contract. Just go sign somewhere else in free agency. And I'm sick of just waiting for him to eventually get traded to Miami, bro. Like, it's just dumb at this point. And I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who cares. Maybe, this is a controversial thing. Maybe everyone else feels like this. But I just don't feel like it's right that Dame can just say, all right, well, I'm going to make my Supermax money. Thanks for paying me more than any other team can. Now, not even halfway into that contract, I'm just going to dip. And you have to trade me because otherwise I'm going to hold out. It's just stupid.